Wondercraft is an AI audio studio, making it easy to create audio content like podcasts and ads without recording by using AI voices. Over 200,000 users use the platform, including marketing teams at Amazon, Siemens, Novartis, Canon, and Spotify. Here to share more with us about the company is Wondercraft co-founder Oskar'll.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's very nice to be here with everyone. Yeah, I'm Oskar'll. I'm the co-founder of Wondercraft, and we are indeed a AI-powered audio production studio. So I want to thank 11 Labs for warming up the stage for us to talk about audio way more. We're very passionate about that, and also work with 11 Labs, which is great. And you can think of us as a Canva for audio, basically. And what we are 1 year old, but already empower, as Alex said, 200,000 marketers and creators all around the world to produce podcasts for audio content distribution, audio advertising, learning and development content, audiobooks, and even meditations and sleep stories. All of the above. But think of it as an end-to-end production studio. So Wondercraft is a collaborative platform as well. So the teams that we work with around the world can actually form teams and sit and collaborate together. So a lot of creative teams at the companies that Alex mentioned are able to work together on different projects. And I'm going to switch into a team space here and organize all their projects, all their voice clones, all their music and sound effects, and everything that they upload to our platform to be able to create their audio productions. And we make it really easy for marketers and creators to get started with content creation. So the first thing that really starts is the script. What are you trying to produce? Is it an ad? Is it a podcast? Is it long form, short form? And really guide people through the starting point of it. If you're in a rut, if you have writer's block, which I normally do late at night, it's great to have AI to get us started with that. So a few different ways to get started is through AI prompts. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to use that as an example here. You can also upload existing audio files. So say that you have a podcast already that you've produced and you want to edit that, or maybe you want to translate it, you can easily upload that. We even do Notebook LM. So if any of you have experimented with Google's consumer product, Notebook LM, it's fantastic to create these conversational stories. Now you can just drag and drop them into Wondercraft and edit the voices, edit the scripts, and make it something personal to you. And we've kind of become the informal, unofficial Notebook LM editing studio. But let's dive into the studio. You can also start with templates, as you see here. Some of the different use cases could be a good source of inspiration. I'm going to hop into the studio and show you what that looks like. So what we're going to do here, we're going to talk about two different components in the Wondercraft studio that your creative teams are going to love working with. The first one is it's a storyline editor, which is a text editor. I can start typing here. Hello, world. And on the bottom, I have the timeline editor. So this controls the aspect of the timing. Obviously, if I want to cut something like a 30-second ad for my podcast campaign that I'm running, this is very, very useful and very fast to work with. Or if I'm writing a 1 hour long sleep story, for instance, it also becomes a invaluable tool to be able to edit it and make the pacing and everything just right for that perfect listening experience. I'm going to take you through a journey where we create something. I'm going to create an ad, and we're going to make it a 30-second ad. And we're going to talk about how we create the content, how we apply different voices. And what makes Wondercraft really unique is that we work with 11 Labs and a lot of different foundational voice models around the world to really bring the best of the best voice models to you as a creator. What we're really building for is a workflow and being able to collaborate and create scripting and edit it all together, but then also pulling in all the best of the best models out there to really make it unique. And then we've built our model on top here to really have fine control the voices to make it sound 100% studio quality for commercial use, which is very important, obviously, if you're creating something from your brand, either advertising or podcast content. And let's get started. We're going to start with content. We're going to talk about voices. We're going to apply some music, some great sound effects, and putting it all together and export it as a file. Simple as that. Right, let's start with content. So we have, as I mentioned before, various ways to get started. You can even upload a PDF. So say that you have written a 60-page brand guidelines or brand campaign brief that you want to use, you can upload that and use that as an inference to create your script. You can also choose to work on different prompts, or from different prompts rather, from our prompt library here. And we already have a huge library of prompts that you can go through specifically for advertising, podcasting, audiobooks, meditations, and other use cases that we see. And these serve as great starting points to get yourself started. And the cool thing here is also that you can, as a company, save your own custom prompts. Once your team starts producing material for yourselves or for your clients, you can easily save prompts and reuse them for various projects. We're going to use a quick ad here, and we're going to create an ad for Wondercraft. So I'm going to punch in the web address here, wondercraft.ai. And this is a very simple prompt. I can type anything in here, just like you use ChatGPT or Claude. You can prompt this in however you want, and also upload documents, as I mentioned. You can also choose an output language. We serve up to 35 different languages right now, but expanding on that quite a bit. We have customers in 50 countries, so it makes sense to be able to break down the language barriers to create this. And a great example here for marketers is to create advertising in different languages and different accents to really personalize the delivery in the market that you're going for. So, but let's stick with English here, unless anyone of you speaks Swedish, which is my native tongue. We can certainly do that as well. All right, let's hit generate script here. We're going to get started. And the way that we look at AI here is it really have a great starting point, right? So generating a script might not be perfect, which is why we're in a studio environment, so we can edit the script just how we want, right? I'm going to do here, I'm going to close down the content tab, and here we have a script ready. As I mentioned, AI can only do so much. We really want to empower creatives and copywriters to make it their own. Obviously, this is a great starting point, and we can break this apart and start editing this just as we can in any text editor, right? I can even drop comments here to leave in my team so we can collaborate and really bring down the time allotted for creative approval and creative feedback loops. And I won't go into that in further detail, but it's one of the collaborative features that we do have. I can also ask AI to do rewrites of this, but let's just listen to the first part here right out of the box to see what we have started.
Tired of spending hours recording and editing audio content? Introducing Wondercraft.ai, where creating professional audio is as simple as typing.
Sounds pretty good, Abby. Abby is our default voice in this case, but now really the fun begins. I can break this apart, and what you'll see is that you have this little toolkit in front of or above each text segment. What's really good with this is that you can really fine-tune how you want to deliver all this. And if you see on the bottom, you also see once I split this apart, I have different segments to work with. So I have these two dimensions of the same content pretty much to be able to create my final vision for this creative, right? All right, so what we can do now, I'm going to break this apart a little bit, where we're going to play around with the voices and then have something of an ad that we can go to market with. All right, let's move into voices. So what I can do now, if I like Abby, I can certainly keep her, but if I click Abby, I'm going to open the voice tab in Wondercraft, and this is really where the fun journey begins. If you're a marketer or creator, is really going on a full-on audition of hundreds and hundreds of voices that we use across multiple foundational voice models out there. And the cool thing is, it doesn't stop there. We can obviously listen to a few of them.
So astronomers have spotted this really big...
We have Alfred.
Dance like the universe is watching.
Anna.
Why can some people change and others cannot?
We can also filter down on different characters and find the characteristics we really are going for, that we have in our mind for our creation. Well, let's stick with Abby for a second here. One thing that we really excel at is how we can tweak the models. And I think you heard in the Level House model as well, which is fantastic, is that you can manipulate the voices to really come out as natural as you want for the purpose that you're creating for. Abby, for instance, we heard her already. She sounds like this.
Let your imagination soar on wings of fire.
But what we also built is of different ways to change the voice. So first of all, we have these accents and tones that we can change quite quickly. So you can make Anna sound calmer, like she's meditating, or very excited and a little pushy. and maybe even sad if she's talking about something sad, or instructive, like she's presenting in front of a class. Quick toggles here to really dive into it. I'm going to show you some other things that we can do though. Imitate is a mind-blowing feature that we've created, and this really helps you scale the number of voices and the number of accents you can combine. Since you can imagine, it's very hard to find, to have all the different ranges of characters in all the different accents around the world. So for instance, when we work with customers in Saudi Arabia, or we realized that there's over 20 very distinct Arabic voices, right? And if you go to any country, even a small country like Sweden, there are very, very distinct characters and different accents. So what Imitate does is help you mix and match voices. So in this case, if I really like Abby's voice, but I love how Giovanni speaks Italian and his Italian accent.
Chi del soldato si innamora, un suono di trombetta e addio signore.
What I can do is I can tell Abby to imitate Giovanni, and she would sound something like this. Let's see if we can do that. Giovanni. We can generate a preview here. So this gives you so many options of finding the right kind of tone you're looking for in your production, but also the right accent. So if you are creating a targeted campaign for a certain region, like Mexico City, for instance, you want to make sure that you have an accent that kind of resonates with that target group, right?
Tired of spending hours recording and editing audio content? Introducing Wondercraft.ai.
And now I've created a new preset, and I can save this to my library here. So I have a lot of different variations of Abby imitating different characters. Here she is imitating Alfred.
Let your imagination soar on wings of fire.
Or she's Australian and excited.
Thanks for having me, Rumby. It's great to be here.
And so you have all these different modes of being able to manipulate the voices. Another thing with voices, before I close this down, is you can obviously create your own. So a lot of our teams, marketers that we work with, can save a lot of their different characters that they have. Maybe you have voice actors on staff, or they have an announcer read that they use for productions, for videos, or for podcasts. You can easily create clones within the Wondercraft platform and save that into your workspace, which is a vault of all the content and all the projects that you have. You can also upload a clip, and you can even import your voices from 11 Labs. So if you already have professional voices on 11 Labs, you can import them into Wondercraft as well, which is a nice little feature that we have with our friends over at 11 Labs. All right, now I'm going to show you some really cool features that has really been game changers for us in our use cases in the studio environment. First one is Parrot Mode. Now, Parrot Mode is a fantastic way to really tweak the voices. Say, AI is not really fantastic at out-of-the-box understanding that you're supposed to sound sarcastic, or if you should hesitate on a word or emphasize certain words. So Parrot Mode is the first feature that we've created that lets you use your normal microphone and be able to direct the voice direct. So I'm going to do this now, and you're going to hear what comes out of it. I'm going to do a little interesting read here. Tired of spending hours recording and editing audio content? Introducing Wondercraft.ai, where creating professional audio is as simple as typing. And what we're going to do now is basically use my sound wave of how I presented this, and Abby's going to read it out. She's basically the perfect actress in this case, and she sounds like this.
Tired of spending hours recording and editing audio content? Introducing Wondercraft.ai, where creating professional audio is as simple as typing.
All right, as you can hear here, you can detect my Swedish American accent, which is part of this. So this really brings out the inner actor in you when you're presenting or when you're using it. The next mode is Director Mode. And this is something we invented when, for instance, I want an accent where I want a certain delivery, but I can't do a Southern accent, for instance, really authentically for commercial use. So Director Mode is a way where you can actually have a conversation and chat with the AI voice. In this case, we have Abby, and I'm going to ask her to actually tell her that you are from Texas, and you speak with a thick Southern drawl, and you are very happy to see us. All right. that's silly prompt, but it's direction. Basically, I'm sitting in the director's chair now, and I'm asking Abby to interpret this and give me a delivery. Let's listen to her Southern drawl.
Transform your words into hyper-realistic ads, podcasts, and meditations in any language. No recording studio needed.
All right, so that's pretty good. I'm going to use that take, and now all of a sudden we have a great way to finish this ad. What I'm going to do now, once we've gone through the voices, I'm going to add some music. We have tons of music in our catalog that you can use. You can also upload your own music, and it's all saved in your team space. In this case, I'm just going to throw in some circus music there. How about this one? Sounds good. Let's do that. I'm going to drop that in the timeline. I can move on to sound effects. Same thing here. We have lots of different sound effects, but you can also generate your own. So if you don't have any you don't want to sit and go through a full library of sound effects, you can actually come up with it here. So say that we want, I want a young man yelling, "Weehoo!" Also a silly prompt. I'm feeling a silly mood today. But this is a fantastic way to draft up your creation, maybe for advertising or for podcasting that you're creating for your company. Okay, that was a bit unhinged. Let's listen to that. Okay. Great. It's getting out of hand, this demo. I'm going to save this. I'm going to place it on the timeline. Now we have that here. As you can see, you have all these components here. So you're able to actually create something where you have multiple speakers. You can have endless amount of speakers here and create a full theater productions with and editing that together in the timeline editor, as you see. So let's see where we are now with our production. We have these voices here. It's we have a little sound effect. We can adjust the volume. We can even make sure that, for instance, the Southern speaker here was a little slow. So if I want to speed that up, I can just do so quite simply here. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like now.
Fired up spending hours recording and editing audio content? Introducing Wondercraft.ai, where creating professional audio is as simple as typing. Transform your words into hyper-realistic ads, podcasts, and meditations in any language. No recording studio.
And this is pretty much it. I can also jump in audio clips if I have jingles and any other sound bites that I want to include. And then quickly hit export. And I can do this in different ways. If I wanted to send this to you all to review, I can easily do that. I can drop it in the chat right now. And you can dive in, you can comment, you can send me comments that are going to end up in the studio. So I can easily go back and iterate on it. So for instance here, hello. I'm going to post it in the chat so you guys can view this production. And we can, let's see here, I'm going to post that. There we go. Now you can listen to it, you can comment on it, and yeah, we can have some fun with the rest of it. And I can just download this as a file, of course. And we have different bit rates and all that jazz. Or if you just want to download a simple file here, if you're creating a voiceovers for videos, maybe you just want the Southern, you can just easily download that clip. This concludes a quick demo of what you can create. I am dying to get into the questions that you might have.